Motivation and preparation led to a new sensation, new creation. That's what you're facing. Now watch my elevation.
The next topic we're going to discuss on Boxing Bros is, should referee Ron Lipton be fired for his performance with the Josue Vargas and Dakota Linger fight. Now, here's the issue. Referee Ron Lipton was sipping on some tea, probably Lipton's tea, as he let the fight linger as Dakota was beating on Josue Vargas. And we're going to take a look at that, and then we'll discuss whether or not Ron Lipton should be fired for his performance. Let's take a look, and then we'll discuss this in greater detail. All right, here it is.
In times like this, you're getting guys that are raw right hand, and you're and Vargas, and it's called a slip.
Out your mind, ref.
Unbelievable. There was a right hand.
That was a slip, dog.
Vargas, and it's nightmare territory for Josue Vargas once again here at the Hulu Theater, and here comes Dakota Linger. Well, that's why we got the guys in the truck with the instant replay, baby. That was a knockdown. He's hurt. And once again, Vargas is in no man's land, and Dakota Linger is not going to let him off the hook this time as he digs to the body, trying to set up a shot to the head, a right uppercut from Dakota Linger. And
look at this, no return fire.
Is in a bad spot. We gotta tie up.
No return fire, like he's not tying up.
They gotta throw in the towel. Linger's trying to finish him.
Went through the ropes.
Bro, he look mad drunk right now. You know what
He
I'm
doesn't
saying?
even look like he's
completely lost. Vargas is not all right. He's finished.
This referee.
Linger is gonna do damage here. Somebody has to take care of Josue Vargas. Stop the fight.
Yo, what kind of referee is this?
And then you see the doctor ringside just run up there and be like, yo, this fight is over. So you just saw that entire sequence what Ron Lipton called a knockdown, a slip, first of all, gets up, lets the fight take place on the ropes in which a fighter isn't firing back, isn't trying to hold. The fighter falls down, goes through the ropes, gets back up. Ron Lipton checks. The fighter can barely stand and is wobbling around, and Ron Lipton lets him continue, and then the ringside doctor has to come up and call the fight. So I'm turning over to you, Conspiracy G. What's your reaction?
Poppy G. You know what I'm saying?
Poppy G.
Yeah.
Poppy C G. All right, so Poppy G. What's your reaction to that? And should Ron Lipton be fired?
Oh, no, he should definitely be fired. That was negligent to the nth degree. And here's why. Like, and this is, remember, post that South African brother passing away, right? So in the back of every referee's mind, I know they're like more sensitive now because of how recent that was. So to see this man, that slip, I was like, how can you even call that a slip when you seen the punch land? You know? But I was like, hey, that's not here or there, whatever. You know what I mean? I could give that ref that little pass. But once my man's in that corner, not defending himself, just absorbing so many shots, and finally gets dropped, when he risen back up from the floor, he just looked like he wasn't even there. And the ref is literally like inches away from them, and he's watching it the whole time. He knows Vargas is gone, bro. But he's still allowing Vargas to get punished by Linger again. And to me, I was like, yeah, if the argument is, you know, this is Puerto Rican Day Parade, he's Puerto Rican, you know, like give him the benefit of the doubt, this and the third. That's to a degree. But that amount of punishment that he absorbed, I don't understand why I'm even shocked that his Vargas' corner didn't throw in the towel. That was outrageous to me. Like, the listening and watching it, like again, hearing Timothy Bradley screaming, felt like call the fight, Call the fight. Call the fight. How many people gotta tell you, yo, stop? Like, what was the referee thinking? I know the referee could hear all of these people around him too. The guy was negligent, bro. Like, I don't know if it's due to age. I don't know if he just didn't like Vargas. I know Vargas' trainer was like mad animated, before the fight. Maybe the ref has, a bias or whatever. So he's probably like, let me teach Vargas a lesson. I don't know. But nonetheless, the man was hurt. And you didn't care to even protect the fighter. And you're the referee. You know what I mean? So he got to go. I don't even like that performance right there from the referee tells me you don't need to be refereeing any other commission fights because you clearly lack judgment, So, man, and to be honest, man, I think Vargas should hang it up. I think he's done now. This is back-to-back knockouts, devastating knockouts. I don't know what that does to a man's like psyche, but I think he's done. Salute to him, man. Hopefully he can find like some type of he could transition. Maybe he could be a trainer. Maybe he could do something within boxing, but to be in that ring, nah, man, it's over, bro. Like these are some real like losses, like, and so I just hope he's okay physically and mentally. You know what I mean? Like he did walk away on his own, so that was a beautiful thing, But again, you never know. These dudes could pass away, hours later, weeks later, days later. Anything can happen, man. So that's why you need responsible people in the ring with, that's supposed to be objective. That's what a referee's supposed to be. Thank goodness the physician came in and stopped it because the referee was out his mind. Shame on him, and he should definitely be fired.
Bill.
Y'all know how I feel about the safety of these fighters, and you know how I feel about these fighters in general, right? We done got into it before on this show about how I feel about these fighters. But I am the commissioner, right? And I have to look at this thing as a whole. And I can't just sit here and barn-guard all this hatred towards this elderly man. You guys are going all out on an assault on a 75-year-old man because he didn't see something. Do y'all hear what y'all saying? A 75-year-old man didn't see something, and y'all losing your mind over it. What do you think? Coach is gonna miss a punch. He didn't see it. He just seen him on the ground. He's like, "Oh, let me go get him." 75 years old.
Yeah, is he really 75 for real?
I don't know. I can look this up.
Ref. This is a Hall of Fame ref. He should have resigned years ago, but y'all still keep pulling him out of bed, off his couch.
Yo, he's 75, cuz.
Oh, he really is 75. I thought Joe was just capping.
You know what I'm saying? It's your fault. It's your fault. I'm not mad at him.
Yo,
Y'all should be fired.
Joe, they're mad at 75-year-old didn't stop something fast enough.
Yo, man. No, for real. Look at you. Just hear these people. They're mad. The 75-year-old didn't just jump in there. He wasn't fast enough. He's 75 years old. He should have been there. He should have been home watching the fight.
Oh, man.
So
With his bifocals on, Trail. With his bifocals on.
For real. Y'all sitting there, he can't see what's going on. He's 75 years old. Only thing he knew was that this young man, he said, let me give this young man the benefit of the doubt. That's probably all he was thinking. He getting his butt whipped, but when the round ends, let me give him to the end of the round if he don't get dropped again. You know what I'm saying? Giving him the benefit of the doubt so he don't stop the fight. He probably knows the kid's situation.
Wasn't it like a minute and something seconds left?
Yeah, he knew the kid's story. He knew Vargas, where Vargas came from. He knew another loss for Vargas would be detrimental. And he knows the sport of boxing. He's been around for a long time. You know what I'm saying? He done seen fighters done come back from being hurt. You know, he don't ref Arturo Gotti's fights. He don't seen Gotti busted up, 2 eyes closed, and still drop a left hook. Maybe he thought he had a little Gotti in him. He done seen every fight for over 40-something years of referee. You know? So yeah, I'm not mad at him. He should have never been there. You know what I'm saying? Should he be fired? No. Why would y'all do that and add more stress on this man's heart? He should resign.
He just will retire. He just retire. You know what I'm saying?
Let that man resign. Don't say well, fire. He should be fired. Y'all are cruel. That's what I'm learning. Y'all are cruel. You know what I'm saying? That's what I gotta say.
Feels like we should be giving him his flowers right now.
Oh, Trill, man, that was a great breakdown, man. All right, then the TVE.
Should Ron Lipton be fired? No. Should he retire? Yeah. I feel refs, when they officiate a fight or a game or anything like that, when calls that can jeopardize somebody's life drastically come into play and you slip up or you have a slip up, which we saw in those clips, I feel he should step down and resign or call it a career. Call it a career as referee. Because clearly you have to be on point as a ref to when the match goes on. You can't just let somebody get beaten battered to the point where you think he still has fight in him, because that's poor judgment. If the guy, what's up, G?
Isn't that just semantics? You just said he shouldn't get fired. He should just resign. It's the same outcome, though.
I'm just saying.
It's not semantics. It's not semantics because, like, for example, I know, like, in my field, sometimes what they'll do is they'll tell you, like, you're going to be terminated on X date. Mm-hmm. But we'll take a letter of resignation in lieu of termination before this date. So what you know is you're going to be terminated on this date, but you will have the option of resigning. But if you resign, what you do is like you save like your ability to apply for other positions and check that box. Like, have you ever been terminated or fired? No.
Not be able to officiate a soccer game or something. You know?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, like, you're saying it's due to his negligence.
Due to his negligence, he should resign.
You see what I'm saying? So it's clearly
after the fight
error of the ref. So we all just saying he don't need to be in that ring, right?
Yeah, he's saying like he should be fired. Like he has a history of doing this. You know what I'm saying? He don't got a history of doing this. You know what I'm saying? Age,
all it takes is one time.
He just catches up with the best of them.
Yeah, we need clean cut reffing fights. Like fights, we need rights to call it down the middle. Like everything clean. You see a fighter is getting battered, stop the fight. If you see a fighter is wobbly, he's not stable on his legs, call the fight. If you see a fighter's eyes looking too down, looking opposite directions, call the fight. Because it's like we can't. How many times do we have to deal with situations where fighters have brain damage? Fighters are putting their mental, their health, all of that at risk just to get a win, which is far out of reach because they're so they're so out of the fight that they can't even make a comeback. So I feel what's up, G?
All right, forgive me for interrupting again, but I kind of see what you're saying, but this is why I kind of disagree. Because even if a person is hurt, they can still land a punch.
They can still land a punch.
Even if you on spaghetti legs, you can still be dangerous.
Andy Ruiz.
Yeah, it's like a number of fights that we've seen where dude was hurt,
but
and the referee allowed the fight, and then they made a comeback. You know what I'm saying?
I recently said, if a fighter dies under your supervision, you have to resign.
No. I don't.
That's how I feel.
What if a dude dies because of a one punch?
There were multiple knockdowns or something like that, and you let that fighter continue. I think you should resign after that, because now that just doesn't sit well with me. I don't think it sit well with other boxers that you didn't stop the fight when this fighter was in this predicament and you let him keep going, and now he lost his life.
No, I think it's circumstantial. Like, I kind of feel like with every fight, like there's signs that you see that you go like, all right, this guy's in danger. But if those signs aren't visible, and then let's say later on the person passes away, I don't think that's the referee's fault. You know what I mean? Because there was no visible signs to indicate that guy needs to step in and stop the fight. But I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. But that's all. Should he be fired? No. But he should send in that resignation letter.
Interesting dynamic, particularly with the point that Tro made that Ron Lipton, 75 years old. You know, when you really think about this, actually he's going on 76 because I think said his birthday was in August, so he's going to be 76. So, but realistically though, you have to ask, should someone be in a boxing ring refereeing the fight at that age? Now, you don't want to participate in age discrimination, obviously, but there is a physical demand that goes along with doing this job, right? Where it would be difficult for the average person at that age. So I don't think that it's particularly singling someone out. If you ask, should they be doing this particular job at this age because of the physical demand? You're being asked to control 2 elite level athletes, right? In a fast-paced sport and environment. So you look at certain jobs, you have to be able to meet these physical requirements in order to do the essential functions of the job. Be it, say, you're a fireman, you are a woman, you have to be able to do certain tasks physically in order to be able to perform essential functions of that job. So you got to figure out what are those essential functions. And I think referees and even judges, they need to come up with like a list of things, and they need to check to make sure people are equipped to do the essential functions of that job. Even judges, for example, I know in Massachusetts and many other states, district court judges have to retire. Most judges have to retire at the age of 70. So once you're 70, you retire as a judge. Doesn't mean those judges retire from being judges and then they go and be like professors at law schools for as long as they want. But you have to retire being a judge at 70, right? It's not a age discrimination thing, but it's more of a, at this age, this job becomes something that in which they feel like, you know, they need younger people doing. And so when I look at this referee and Trill points out his age, I think maybe age did play a role. We're talking about a man who clearly got knocked down. The announcer saw it. I saw it. Everyone saw it except the man closest to the action.
That's crazy.
Calls it a slip. Then we're talking about an onslaught against the ropes, right? In which a guy didn't return fire for about a minute, didn't attempt to hold, seemed like he was out of the fight anyway. And I feel like Dakota Linger was thinking in his mind, when is he going to jump in? When is he going to jump in? When is he going to jump in? He never jumps in. Josue Vargas goes down through the ropes. Like you say, G, he gets himself up, and you see it in his eyes. He's not all the way there. The referee says, oh, give me your mitts or whatever. He looks like he's falling back.
Thanks.
And then he lets the fight continue. And I just think to myself, when Jack Reese, at least Jack Reese, he'll say, like, walk over here. And I'll switch directions and walk over there. And he's really looking to see if you can do it or not, because if you can't, he's going to call the fight. Josue Vargas couldn't have done that. And then he goes and he takes more punishment, and then it's the ringside physician who says, call this fight off. And you can hear it. And during the onslaught, you can hear in Timothy Bradley's voice, he's yelling, stop the fight. You can hear everyone stop the fight. I swear I thought Timothy was going to run in that ring. It sounded like if that rings, it would have been very interesting to see. So that's why, although Timothy had that slip up where he obviously didn't know, you can tell this man is genuine and his heart's always in a good place. Like, I felt like he was ready to run in that ring. And he was yelling it loud, and you know, it's in Timothy Bradley's ringside. So he's yelling it loud, like he's yelling it at the ref, like instinctually, like yelling it at the ref. Stop the fight. Stop the fight. And then the ringside position is just like, I'm just going to get up and start this fight. But age could definitely play a role in why that took place.
You saying the referee's hearing aid wasn't on?
It's not his hearing aid, it's judgment. That's
I
why
was joking.
even judges have to retire
Yeah.
at 70. Unless you're a Supreme Court judge, then you're appointed for life. But as you see, like even at 70, some of them start to retire or pass away. And the point is, boxing really needs to decide, is that what we want? Should there be an age where referees have to retire? And it just because they retire as a ref doesn't mean they can't train other refs. Doesn't mean they can't do other things. But should they be in the middle of that ring? See, retiring is too strong of a word. Maybe he doesn't need to retire. Maybe he just doesn't need to be the man in the ring for another fight ever again in his life. But he can train upcoming officials, upcoming referees. He can do other things. But it should be like, bro, your days of being in that ring are done. Just like driving a motor vehicle. Driving a motor vehicle, please, man, one hand. Sometimes I feel like I can drive the car with my foot. That's how easy it is. And I know people who are like that too. Like some of my family members who I won't name, in their younger days, they used to be whipping. And now you get in the car with them and they're a lot older. And they're like, oh, am I okay on that side? I'm like, what happened to you? You used to just whip it. I'm trying not to name names. I can give you some examples, but if I give you some examples, then they're going to know if they watch the show that I'm telling about them. But the point I'm making is simple tasks become very difficult the older you become. Like driving. Like sometimes I'll be on the road and there'll be a car going like 30 and a 50. And I want to get mad. But before I get mad now, when I'm passing it, I look into the car to see if it's an older person. If it's an older person, they get a pass. If it's a younger person, I'll be like, "What are you doing, moron?"
Karen Caden.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, the Karen will yell no matter what. You know what I'm saying? But the point I'm getting at is, you all make great points. But I want to close with showing Josue Vargas some love, because in a sport where we see people find ways out of the ring when they weren't even as hurt as he was. He was hurt and still in the ring willing to fight to try to win. And he was taking punishment. He didn't look for a way out. When he went down through those ropes, he got back up. He could have stayed through those ropes, got back up. The referee allowed the fight to continue. He could have been looking at the ref like, really? You're going to let me continue? Or he could have done something, stumbled or done something to try to make the ref call the fight. But he was willing to go and take that beating. And that's just a level of heart that you'll find only in fighters. Unfortunately, chin-wise, maybe even talent-wise, Josue Vargas wasn't that guy. He wasn't a champion, but his heart was all champion. His courage was his will, straight champion, straight dog. They're guys who had the talent to win the title, but they didn't have the dog in them like Josue Vargas did. Daniel Dubois fought last night. Daniel Dubois' eye got hurt. He took a knee and didn't get back up. Yeah, he had a broken orbital bone. I'm not trying to clown the man. Respect. I mean, I don't know what it's like to have that pain. But I'm just saying that Josue Vargas was willing, regardless of what condition he was in, he was willing to go out that night. And Daniel Dubois could have stood up. Same goes with Billy Joe Saunders, who clowned Daniel Dubois for what happened, but when he was in the same position, he stayed on that stool. All I know is Josue Vargas had many opportunities to try to get out that fight, but he didn't. And he was willing to take a beating, and it wasn't even a world championship fight. It was just a fight. So his heart, to me, I don't know, people may start clowning him or whatever, but anyone clowning him probably doesn't have a fraction of the heart that man has. And some people have the talent to become champions. Some people have the talent to go places, but you can't teach heart. I saw that in our comment section. I think it was Coder X said that when we were talking about Anthony Joshua and how he needs to change his mindset. He said, you can't teach heart. I mean, I believe Anthony Joshua has tremendous heart, so his heart's there. So I'm not trying to say that about AJ, but the point I'm making is Josue Vargas has a lot of heart, showed a lot of dog. But I just think boxing may not be for him, and he should hang it up. But his heart, no one can question that.
Definitely can't question his heart. Let us know how you feel in the comment section. Please like and subscribe. Check us out on Instagram and Twitter. And please check out our podcast on all major streaming services. Elevation single out now on all major streaming services. Don't forget to tune in with us June 14th, where we do the live listening party for the Brothers album. We are the Boxing.